Hello everyone, welcome to the Intro to Regular Expressions, or REGEX, for Google Sheets. Today we're going to talk about, in the next video, we're going to talk about shorthand expressions. Now in the previous video I went over the two anchors, the caret and the $sign, that are very important when it comes to planning your regular expression functions and formulas, how to use your functions in the formulas. Now we're going to go through a few of the shorthand expressions. There are four of them. Actually, there are five, but I'm just going to go over four right now. And as I mentioned before, regular expressions, or regex, is case sensitive. So you have to be very, very careful with how you put in your expressions and how you put in your criteria, because it will sit there, and if you wanted something that was going to go and take over capital and lowercase words, and you just put in a lowercase parameter, it won't pick up the capitals. You need to be very explicit with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at these 8 expressions, or these 8 shortcut expressions, and notice that they are just the uppercase and the lowercase of that, and they're usually opposites of each other. So let's take a look at the b and the lowercase b and the uppercase b. Okay, so slash b is basically slash lowercase b is where you want to replace the word boundaries. So the place in between words, as you can see here, I already put in the equal sign, and what it did was that it actually put wherever there was anything before or afterward a space. For example, it puts in the pipe. This is a pipe. And then it actually, when it comes to, and if you'll notice that I do have an ellipsis in here, and it doesn't really do anything for it because it is not a word. So anywhere where you have a word and you have a space before and after it, that's where it puts the pipe. Now, when we talk about the large b, and actually let me go through, before that, let me go through and show you the others as well. Yes, another. With this one, we're also seeing that I put in a semicolon here, and it just basically kept the semicolon. Again, it does ignore all of the non-word or non-word alphanumerics, the non-alphanumeric words. And just does what it needs to do for the spaces after those words. Now, the opposite of that is the uppercase b, and what it'll do is that it will actually put in pipes in between the letters. So, you see, in between the letters, so there's a little bit of, it's between the letters, and also, it also puts for non-word, non-alphanumeric characters as well, or non-alphanumeric parts of the string. So again, lowercase b takes the full word, and then it just puts in, you actually can go ahead and modify the space before and after the whole word, whereas uppercase b does it for each letter. It's actually called the non-word boundaries, which is kind of confusing. What it really does is that it takes each individual string part, and then it actually just identifies whatever you want to do. If you want to replace it, if you want to extract it, what do you want to do? That's where its focus is, taking the string piece by piece. And as you can see here, it actually takes each one of the ellipses, and then it puts in its interpretation. It does not really do anything for the semicolon, and it doesn't do anything for the period. And that's actually a little bit of a trick to it, which I'll address in another, because there's something special about that I don't want to go into right now. But you just know that when it comes to alphanumeric parts of the string, as well as, let me see, alphanumeric parts of the string, and I don't think I have it here. Yeah, there are other pieces where it would have done, I think it was an underscore, where it would have actually just separated that underscore as well. But I don't have an underscore in here. So that's just keep an eye on that. And as I said, I will go through the whole period thing and how that is a special character that needs to be treated specially again in a future video. Okay, now when it comes to W, it matches any word character that's upper and lowercase. And again, it's upper, lowercase, and underscore. So let's take a look at specifically what this does here. Equals regular place. Let's go ahead. And in this case, I asked it to just find whatever it is, those any word characters, and I wanted to replace them with asterisks. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Hold on a second. Let me expand this a little bit so you can see a little better. All right. So again, it took all of the words except the ellipsis, except the ellipsis, and it went ahead and it did the asterisk. Now let's go ahead and go down and see what, hold on a second. And again, it did not touch the commas. If you have a comma, it would not touch the question mark or the dollar sign. Again, those are special characters. So it needs a special kind of touch for that. And when it comes to the, like for 25 gallon, that's a hyphenated, it converts it into an underscore. So that's what's going to happen for this particular function. Now when we go into the uppercase W, let me change that to the uppercase W. So instead of dealing with each character, it deals with the space between the characters. And in this case, hold on a second, we are definitely going to handle the other special characters, because while it says this any word, any alphanumeric word and underscore, it will actually do, in this case, it will replace it however you want it to be replaced. The opposite of that is that it will keep all the words, but then it'll take all the other characters, the spaces in between them, the question mark, the dollar signs, as well as the @ sign, and I believe it also handled the, yes, it did handle the hyphen as well in this one. And it also took into consideration the space after in this appointment one. It took into consideration there's a space after the appointment, after the dot in the appointment, so it took care of that as well. So everything that is not alphanumeric or underscore, that's where that / uppercase W comes in handy. Okay. When thinking about when you would actually use something like this, you know, if you're trying to break apart a certain amount of text or certain pieces of text for whatever reason, say you have, and this has happened to me plenty of times where I've gotten a whole mass of text in just like in globs, in cells, and for me to go through all of that would be an absolute nightmare. So using something like if I needed to extract pieces of that, or if I needed to replace some of it, or just find out what contains what, then this kind of /W's would definitely come in handy, especially when it comes to replacing, because maybe something may have a hyphen and it doesn't need a hyphen, or shouldn't have a hyphen for whatever reason. So that's where this would come in very handy and would save you so much time. So for /S, this is where we're dealing specifically with a white space. So white space is basically the spaces in between words. So this lowercase s. And for that, I want to replace that white space in between those with an underscore. Okay, let's take that again. And as you can see in, hold on a second, it did not touch, again, you're talking about alphanumeric, but I believe an underscore for this one as well, alphanumeric strings. It will touch. It will deal with that. It will not touch anything at this point that is not alphanumeric. See the 25 gallon, the hyphen is still there. Okay? And then also with this one, so is the comma. So when we were talking, so now that we go ahead and let's change it to the non-white space. And now everything is one big line. And it keeps the white space. So it's like, this would be great for, I actually was thinking about this and I said, well, if you're doing a little game like a hangman game, this could definitely work like that. It would take a little bit more of scripting, but it could definitely work like that. So yes, it would handle all the letters, the alphanumeric characters, and it would keep the spaces in between the words, so you know that they're separate characters. Okay, finally we have the D, which is, the D has to do with digits. Anytime where you see /D, it has to do with numbers. So in this case, lowercase d, I'm going to do with 0 through 9. That's how the D works. It actually looks for numbers 0 through 9. So let's go through, and I'm going to actually replace the numbers 0 through 9 with question marks. Oops, excuse me. So we're going to go through. Whoa, what did I do? REGEX replace. A12. Sorry, my bad. A2. Much better. Okay, so I had 1030 here. 1030 now becomes full question marks. And anything else here that has a, I think with the exception of one statement here. Yes, so anything with numbers, question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay. Now, of course, opposite of that would be D. Now everything except numbers in the uppercase D would become the question mark. And that includes any special characters that you may come across, the hyphens and dollar signs, all of that. That would take care of that. So again, we have the slash upper and lowercase b that have to do with the spaces between words and then between the strings, the individual parts of the words, the strings themselves, the little strings. Then you have slash w's, which have to do with anything that is any word characters that are like upper and lowercase, their letters and the underscore, as well as the opposite of that, everything else, which is the white spaces. The slash s would be overt white spaces, so you want to actually, this lower slash s is for the white space, so anything that has white space can be filled or replaced with something. Then anything that is, when you use uppercase s, anything that is not white space, includes its characters, the string, the numbers, whatever it is, would be converted or changed or replaced with whatever it is you want. And then D stands for digits, so anything, the lowercase one is for numbers 0 through 9, obviously. It would change anything 0 through 9, and then the uppercase would be anything except 0 through 9. So take a few minutes and just kind of, if you want, you can go back and rewatch this video, but take a few minutes and really get a handle on these shorthand expressions, because they're going to come in very handy when we get to the more advanced section, where we're talking about mixing and matching, really playing around and how to use these particular features to figure out how to take out certain pieces of information or how to change certain pieces of information in just one line. In certain cases, you can do a lot of what we do with multiple functions can usually be done with just maybe one line when we come with regular expressions. It's that powerful. So again, thank you for your time. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Of course, like, subscribe if you find anything that you hear is useful, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.